The time's come. The season's over. Congratulations to the Braves. But now, more importantly, we have free agency. And perhaps one of the biggest free agency classes we've seen in, quite a while. We have some huge names. We have Correa, we have Freddy Freeman, and then we have a bunch of other impactful players like Kyle Schwarber. We just saw what he did in the postseason for the Red Sox and, in the regular season as well. So, ton of big names that are going to be moving this offseason. Keep your phone on you. And it's going to be vibrating like, those things that you see advertised all the time under popular tweets. Leave a like if you guys enjoy. As always, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And let's kick it off. Comment section. Who do you guys think is going to land where? Who do you guys want your favorite team to sign? Starting off with number 1, Carlos Correa. Not going to come as too much of a surprise. You don't have to know ball to know Correa is easily the number 1 free agent in this class. Now, what does he bring to the table? Well, for one, he's just 27 years old, and he's already accrued a WAR of 34.2 in just 7 seasons. He's a tremendous defender, a 3 defensive WAR on the 2021 season, and while he hasn't been able to put up quite the same offensive numbers as he did in 2017, I don't know, maybe had a different workout regimen in that offseason leading up to. He's still been fantastic, a career 127 OPS plus, and this is a guy who you feel very comfortable giving that 10-12 year contract to. So Correa, who should be interested? All 30 teams. Who will be interested? All 30 teams minus the Rays. Talking about another 27-year-old, Corey Seager, ton of accomplishments under his belt already. Stacked shortstop class this year. He's the best offensive player out of the bunch, 131 career OPS plus. Now, Correa, I didn't mention it, but he has had a bit of injury issue. Corey Seager even more so. They say the best stability is availability, and Corey Seager, since 2018, has appeared in just 307 regular season games. So it might give you a little bit of cause for concern, but the talent is clearly there. Not as good a defender as Correa, plus defender, 2.5 career D-WAR, but another slam dunk. Any team would be lucky. And it's going to break from the shortstops. Technically, not one. He played second base last year. Marcus Semien, who really proved himself, got a 1-year deal with Toronto, and proceeded to hit 45 home runs, putting up a 133 OPS plus. Now, a curious career so far for Semien. He has 28.7 career reference WAR. 15.5 of that came in 2 seasons, 2019 and 2021. He is starting to get up there in age, already 31 years old at this current point, but I still think the talent is clearly there. Another very good defender, 1.8 defensive WAR in the 2021 season. Has that versatility, can play second base at an elite level, can also play shortstop at an elite level. Marcus Semien brings a ton to the table, and again, every team should want this guy. Coming in, number 4, fresh off a World Series championship, Freddy Freeman, 32 years old, first baseman, so a little less value than those younger guys that are going to get much longer deals than Freddy, but the model of consistency. If you look back to 2011, the lowest OPS plus, 116, and the highest, of course, in the shortened 2020 season where he won the MVP at 187. Already 271 career home runs for Freeman, solid defender, and hell of a postseason player at that. So Freddy Freeman, I would expect to go back to the Braves. That's the way it's leaning right now, but again, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. If you would have told me last year Robbie Ray would be a top 5 free agent, I would say you're a fool. Robbie Ray, more like Ray Charles, couldn't find the strike zone. Walked way too many guys, but this year, he just might win the Cy Young Award. 6.6 WAR on the season was fantastic. Led the American League in ERA plus and WHIP respectively, and strikeouts, might I add, and innings, and ERA. Not too much that Robbie Ray did not lead the American League in. The way Robbie Ray pitches right now, easily the best starting pitcher value-wise in this free agency class. Notice I said value because Mad Max still might be the better pitcher, of course, getting up there in age a bit, 37. Not a spring chicken anymore, but as we've seen, he's a hell of a pitcher, and again, might win the National League Cy Young. Scherzer is still a hell of a pitcher. He's really shown no slowing down. He had a bit of a rough year in 2020, but he's gone right back to that Cy Young candidacy that we all knew Mad Max performs at. So, again, every team likely, but I've heard West Coast is Max's preference. Kris Bryant, bit of an interesting case here. He's going to turn 30 before the new season rings in. Still brings a lot to the table. He can play a lot of positions. Christ, if Joe Madden asked him, sure, he would have caught. Rough 2020 season, but would tend to give the guys the benefit of the doubt on that. Strong 2021 campaign with the Cubs and the Giants. Being 30, not exactly in the same spot as guys like Correa, guys like Seager. Interesting to see where Kris Bryant's going to fall. We all knew Trevor Story was going to hit free agency this year. Probably none of us knew is that he would still be with the Rockies at this point. Curious case not to trade him, but it really came to bite them because he had a bit of a disappointing season in 2021. 801 OPS, good for a 103 OPS plus, which of course counts for the ballpark playing at Coors Field. So just a smidge above average, but of course he does still perform quite well defensively. 1.6 defensive WAR. He's currently going to be 29 by the time the season starts. Birthday in actually 10 days. So, you know, happy early birthday to Trevor Story. There's a lot of links to the Yankees suggesting that he might get traded at some point of the season. Clearly, interest is still held right there. But Trevor Story certainly stepped back from where a lot of us thought he would be heading into this free agency class. Story fell. Starling Marte shot out of a cannon into people's free agency rankings. Had a hell of a 2021 season. He is turning 33, so his age is getting up there, but he's not slowing down a bit. He's still 47 bases in between Miami and Oakland last year. Had an OPS of 841, OPS plus of 132. Defense, about average. Not going to bring you a ton of power, but he gets on base, 383 for this 2021 season, and his ability to steal bases really makes him valuable. So I could see a lot of contenders going after Starling Marte. Hell of a 2021 campaign from him. I've always considered myself a man of faith and Nick Castellanos, because I've always thought he's a hell of a player. A lot of people have doubted him throughout points of his career. I can tell you, as a Minnesota native, watching him play with the Tigers, he can hit. He can't play defense, but he can hit. Last year had quite a good campaign, 939 OPS, hit 34 home runs, of course known for extra base hits. He had 38 doubles. The big thing is the defense. I would like to think he would probably want to go to an American League team, but supposedly I've heard he wants to keep playing defense. So unless we get the universal DH this year, that's going to be interesting. I would like to think if I was a manager of a team. That's great, Nick, but I'm not sure if I want you to play in the outfield. So we'll see what happens with Castellanos, but nonetheless, he's going to hit. It was not an easy road for Kevin Gausman. Sure took him a long time to break out until in 2020 with the Giants, he finally got comfortable. Now sitting at age 31 when it comes to the 2022 season, he's a free agent and he's coming off his best year yet. All-star with the Giants, had a ERA plus of 145, very good. A Cy Young candidate, no doubt, for the National League. Of course, his age is a bit more up there, so probably not an uber long contract he's going to get, but certainly a good deal of money is going to be coming his way. Javier Baez is kind of like pineapple on pizza. Controversial, whether it be his dip in performance the last couple of years or the outburst with the New York Mets fans in the 2021 season. He's a free agent. There's no doubt he's a fantastic defender. What is doubted sometimes is his bat. 2020 was abhorrent, 59 OPS plus. Terrible. He was certainly better in 2021, finished with an OPS plus of 117. It was actually really good with the Mets, 886 OPS, and finally started to walk a little bit. 7% walk rate. That's like Bonds level for Javier Baez. It's going to be interesting to see. If nothing else, he does bring you the glove. He's going to be 29 by the time the season starts. I think he's probably number 4 when it comes to the shortstops. Correa, Seager, Story, and Baez. But I wouldn't doubt him. I think the last half season that we saw with the Mets shows that he can change. Not completely, but he can change a little bit. Always some of my favorite players when it comes free agency. Chris Taylor, the Swiss Army knife type. Utility guys who are just also happen to be very good players. Guys that you want to have out there every day. Perfect to plug in a spot where a guy needs a rest day or is hurt. Chris Taylor does a fantastic job. Of course, hit a walk-off home run big in the postseason for the Dodgers in 2021, but was also an all-star. Had a 110 OPS plus on the year. Defensively, pretty good at a 2.7 WAR, good offensive player. This is the kind of guy you want to have on your team. You saw the value him and Kike Hernandez had, and I think he's certainly going to get interest from most teams. Good Lord, sure feels weird having Kershaw at number 14 when it comes to free agency rankings. And it's not even that he's been bad per se. If you look at 2021, he was pretty good, and 2020 he was even better. Issue for him is staying on the field. He had 121 innings pitched in 2021. He's going to be 34 in the 2022 season. And you might be thinking, yeah, he has a couple years on a guy like Max Scherzer, but Kershaw's pitched so much in his earlier years, it's really taken a toll on his arm, and you can tell. So he's going to have to be load managed here on out. I can't foresee him getting 200, 180 inning season again. So Kershaw, definitely limited value, but certainly still brings an impact when he can pitch. I'll admit, Marcus Stroman's a guy I've never been too high on. Always had a bit too high of a whip for me to really think he's very effective. But this year proved me wrong. 2021, 1.15 whip. Very good. 133 ERA plus, had a WAR of 3.7 for the Mets. He's not going to strike out a ton of batters, but you don't need him to. He can clearly get outs his way. Brandon Belt is the kind of guy you want. He's going to be certainly one of the hottest commodities, although not the best player come this free agency class. He's became a lot more of a platoon hitter. The Giants used him against right-handed pitchers this year, and well, he was quite good at 160 OPS plus. OPS of nearly 1,000, 29 home runs in just 381 plate appearances. Brings a ton of value offensively. Every team is going to want him. Always been a big fan of Rizzo. Iglesias finally put it together and showed off all his potential in 2021 with the Angels. Now, a lot of people speculated, are they going to keep him? I don't know. It depends if the Angels feel like competing this year, if they feel like actually putting in some dollars into the rotation. Iglesias was great last year, certainly one of the best closers. We'll have to see. I imagine most of the contenders are going to be looking for a top-tier arm at the end of the game. Last couple years, Rizzo's been a bit of a weird candidate. Now, when I look on the field, my eye test tells me he's certainly a valuable player. Always a good on-base percentage, high walk rate, OPS plus, always above average. But when it comes to WAR, just 1.7 in his combined season with the Cubs and the Yankees last year. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. I like to think he still has a lot left. He's 32 years old, and he's still a damn good first baseman. So what I'm a bit bitter about, obviously, Garcia had a really good year for the Brewers last year. 29 home runs, 820 OPS. What I'm bitter about is that he didn't do this with the Rays. Mutual agreement to decline his option for this upcoming season. He's going to be a free agent. Average defender, good bat. Would like to see him walk a bit more, but certainly has some power. 29 home runs. Expect to get a lot of calls this winter. And finally, number 20, MLB The Show God Mark Canha had a 2.5 WAR last season. Defensively, not great. Negative 1.6 D-WAR on the season. In the hitting, only a 111 OPS plus. Now, he certainly dwindled a bit since his 2019 season, where he had 26 home runs, 146 OPS plus. Gonna be an interesting free agent signing for sure. Probably a pretty low entry and potentially high reward if you sign him. Now, a couple other guys I want to talk about. You'll probably notice I didn't mention Justin Verlander. I didn't mention Noah Syndergaard. I didn't mention Zach Greinke because they're kind of questionable, right? Justin Verlander hasn't pitched really since 2019. Of course, he had like an inning in 2020. So it's kind of up in the air what you're going to get from him. Same thing with Noah Syndergaard. He pitched in one game in this last year, one of the last games for the Mets. And yes, he's certainly younger than Justin Verlander, but it's still kind of questionable. I didn't really like what I saw out of him in the 2019 season, so I'm not sure how he's going to perform. I will say he's probably going to be lower cost of entry again. I imagine some teams are going to be skeptical. So if he does pitch back to what he has shown to be an all-star in the past, a team's going to get a steal. And then Zach Greinke dwindled in performance for sure. Then a couple honorable mentions to look forward to: Carlos Rodon, Kyle Schwarber, Nelson Cruz, Kenley Jansen, Eduardo Escobar, John Gray, Jorge Soler, Eddie Rosario, Anthony DeSclafani, Tommy Pham, Michael Conforto, and Eduardo Rodriguez. So those are really good names. It kind of shows you how good of a free agency class that we have in 2022. Let me know in the comment section again who you guys want to see your team sign in free agency. It's going to be exciting. We have the superstars that are going to get long contracts, such as Correa, Seager. And we have guys like Robbie Ray, Freddy Freeman, Marcus Semien, who aren't going to get as long, but still about equal when it comes to performance right now. It's really impactful free agency. You have chance to really turn some tides, take a team that was out of the mix last year and bring them into contention. That's the beautiful thing about free agency, unless you're a fan of a team like the Rays who aren't going to sign everybody. So leave a like. I'm trying to hide the pain here. Leave a like. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. There comes out 8.